Secondly, the biggest power trip is adding myself to this conversation uninvited. So already he's admitting that he was not supposed to be in this conversation. He just thrust himself into it.
That you are open to having your account broken into just for some suspicion that you may be talking about someone being a dick or something like that. This, my friends, is a full-fledged scandal.
And then Onyx literally says this. It was a private conversation that was completely meant to address everything I do wrong. So right there, Onyx himself admits that it was a private conversation and he doesn't care. Hi guys, and today we're going to cover one of the lost DSP stories. And this one is the Mighty Onyx scandal of 2015. Now, for those who don't know, Mighty Onyx was basically the guy in charge of running Phil's website, making sure that basically the trains ran on time. And everything was going reasonably well, more or less, in the Phil world, until Onyx got into some hot water on the King of Hate website, because he started spying on people's private conversations and inserting himself into those private conversations. And this caused a massive firestorm on his King of Hate website back in March of 2015 when this happened. Let's get into it. The first clip is going to be laying the foundation and also bringing up how it was a conversation between Wanglord and Darkstalkers that Mighty Onyx was spying on.
Yes, farm generations?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay. Wow, good to see him. Good to hear from you, Ian.
It's a Darkstalkers 47, actually. I kind of got involved on this when came to a little discussion I was having with Wanglord on the forums.
That we have a private conversation here going on between Mr. Darkstalkers 47 and Wanglord, and what they're discussing is what was sort of going on beforehand in the forums. They were having a bit of a back and forth. Now we have the Mighty Onyx invited himself into this private message. Now what this communicates to me is that, number one, he was scanning through private messages and just so happened to find people that were talking about him. Or the other scenario is that he had this back and forth with the member and decided, let me go into his account and let me see what's going on and what this guy is up to. Logs into his account, goes to his private messages, sees that he's talking back and forth with another member, and then goes and invites himself into the conversation so that he can participate. This is obviously a breach of privacy. This is a breach of one's trust. And there is no, and I mean zero, mention in the terms of service or the rules that you are open to having your account broken into just for some suspicion that you may be talking about someone being a dick or something like that. This, my friends, is a full-fledged scandal, and this is a disgusting showing.
Not to mention it's creepy. I mean, you have this guy that will knowingly go through your shit. So I always advocate, you're on the internet, keep yourself private, but watch what you say in the PMs, because this guy is scanning through your shit.
Yeah. Okay, and just to hammer home to make it irrefutable that this was a private conversation between Wanglord and Darkstalkers, we're going to first look to the zoom in of the screenshot taken. And it's clear as day, it says right here, the highlighted part where Mighty Onyx says, secondly, the biggest power trip is adding myself to this conversation uninvited. So already he's admitting that he was not supposed to be in this conversation. He just thrust himself into it. And second, we're going to go to the next screenshot, to where Onyx is replying to Darkstalkers, who is obviously pretty pissed off about this. And we'll just start with what Darkstalker says up top. But again, I'm having more and more trouble believing anything you provide, given that you have to be cloak and dagger to provide any kind of explanation, especially with how you just invaded a private conversation. And then Onyx literally says this. It was a private conversation that was completely meant to address everything I do wrong. So right there, Onxy himself admits that it was a private conversation, and he doesn't care. And the last one is Darkstalkers responding. Exactly. It was a private conversation. It was meant between myself and Wanglord and no one else. And Onyx responds, "Stop with the passive aggressiveness. If you don't want me answering your concerns, just say so." The conversation, as it was, listing things I do that the two of you don't agree with, wasn't heading anywhere productive. With the three of us having discussion, we can at least get somewhere. So right there, Onyx is not only admits that was a private conversation that he wasn't supposed to be a part of, but he's openly unapologetic about it. He's fine with it. He's actually justifying it. He's saying, "Oh, your private conversation wasn't going anywhere. Now with us getting in, now with me thrusting myself in without your permission, now we can get somewhere." I mean, holy fuck, dude.
Darkstalkers, would you say, could you kind of give us a little bit of background? You were having a bit of a back and forth with Wanglord, and then you decided to go to a private message?
Yes, that's correct. It was on the original thread that pertained to Revan announcing, in regards to me thread. And within that thread, it was, let's see. Yes. It was Wanglord and I believe Onyx. We may have conversed a bit on there, but basically there was a bit of, I guess you could say, misunderstanding with how I posted in terms of bolding certain words, etc.
Okay.
And at that point, I kind of told him, hey, just so that we're not having this big, long discussion between ourselves, it's really going off topic. Let's go ahead, just take this to PM. And I'm almost wondering if maybe that's what tipped off Onyx to take a look. But anyway, after that, we started the conversation in which I, was just kind of explaining my point of view to him, saying that, I get what you were saying. I know that I may have messed up as far as words I bolded, unnecessary emphasis, and then explained my reasoning behind my feelings about Onyx's abuse of power.
Okay. At that point, his abuse of power was just simply changing someone's name. He thought that Dr. Fizz, good guy Greg, was actually me. And then instead of looking at his post, he just said, "Oh, I got you, Fred. I'll just change your name for you," and changed his name to Good Guy Fred.
I'm gonna interject there. That's at that point where on Twitter I got a tweet by Raisin Cinnamon, and I think who was it? I know that I got a tweet by Raisin Cinnamon and someone else that they both said, "What do you think about this post that Onyx meant?" And I'm saying, "What post?" I did not know what they were talking about until I saw the thread. Right there, I wanted to. My head was about to explode.
Mm-hmm.
I remained calm. I spoke with Onyx saying, "What is happening? What are people saying that you changed another user's member?" We spoke that it was presumably that it was you, Fred, and it was an innocent joke. And I told him, "Dude, you can't do that. We are the staff of the community that DSP has built. We have to remain professional about it."
So given that Onyx is willing to just violate people's privacy at will, Fred points out the obvious thing that Phil should do to try to start doing damage control for this.
You take responsibility for his actions. You need to let your user base know exactly what's going on your forums and that their privacy is at stake. And if you don't, you openly don't care about your fan base and their privacy using your service. You must take action on this. This is not fake. This has not been photoshopped. This isn't propaganda. This isn't slander. No one has manufactured this. This is legitimate, and we have proof in every way you could possibly want. Photographs, video, and actual people testifying that this is what happened. You must take action on this, because if you don't, then your users are going to know that they don't matter to you. The only thing that matters to you is getting free work done and doing the bare minimum to get by and have other people do work for you. And it doesn't matter what kind of people they are, if they're trustworthy or whatever. You're seeing right now, this is unethical. And in some places, if this wasn't a private message board, this would be illegal.
I'm speechless about this.
Well, eventually someone's gonna bring it up and it's gonna blow up. Like, Phil can't ignore it forever.
I'm sure he's gonna keep doing that.
Exactly. This is
But on the
this is
table.
really alarming.
Because he knows he's fucked.
Put on the table, and I know he's gonna figure. Someone's gonna talk to him, or someone's gonna notify him. He's gonna get some word about this, and he has to respond. Because what if he sees this? What is he gonna say?
Yeah.
But
What's
really?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, Mike, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna ignore it?
Oh, but just wait. If you thought it couldn't get any worse, you underestimate darksydephil. Because now we're going to get into where both Phil and Onxy conspired to cover this whole thing up.
Took it a step further, and at the Sons of Kojima, we divided up the work, and we messaged every single user on the King of Hate forums. And we simply said, with the subject privacy notice, that basically your privacy is not insured on these forums, and if this message speaks to you, then be heard. So, Mr. Onxy caught wind of this. I'm not sure how. We can't confirm how, so we won't speculate on how he caught wind of this. But he caught wind of this, and he personally deleted every single message. So if you are part of the forums and you look at your private messages, you will probably see that you have a message that has been deleted, and all it says is deleted without you actually interacting with this message.
Okay, and the cover-up didn't stop there. Because despite Onxy's attempts to sweep this whole thing under a rug, word got out to a lot of Phil's fans who were watching his live streams and stuff. And Phil responded the way he usually does when there's a problem that he does not want to talk about, especially when he has no good response. He responds by saying this, the top of the line right here: there is no forum incident. Then we go all the way down the line over here. You can see it says, anyone bringing up will be devoice. And then he said, final warning, bro. And he goes on, no tolerance for that stuff today. Silent. Just ban them. It's classic Phil, right? Whenever he or one of his fans does something wrong, and whenever he doesn't want to take responsibility, what does he do? Oh, if you bring it up, you're banned. And we're going to show one last clip here of showing that even after this big blow up, he was still big fans with Onxy, because Onxy was doing a lot of free work for him, and especially because Phil was very tech savvy when it comes to handling the website and managing and updating the website. Phil was willing to do whatever it takes to keep Onxy happy and working.
You may not realize this, seriously. You may not realize this. But we did. We changed. Right now, if you go to thekingofhate.com, it's a completely different server. It's a completely different company that website is hosted on. We used to use GoDaddy, and I'll be honest, GoDaddy was stable, although every once in a while we would have issues with it. GoDaddy was stable. I should say we, but it really was Onxy. Found an alternative company that does the same exact thing as GoDaddy, actually better for cheaper. It's the same, if not better quality servers for half the price of what GoDaddy used to charge us, and he migrated the servers over, and we're up and running. There was no downtime. Thanks to him, that website transition was like this. Instantaneous. So big ups to Onxy, big shout out. I usually don't talk about the website much, but big ups to Onxy.
And one last thing before we wrap up here is that to this day, this scandal is never mentioned by DSP. And again, spying on someone's private conversations. Again, okay, granted it's a web forum, but still, it's like unless there's something serious going on, that's why they're private messages. And Phil just acts like it never happened. It's astounding. Well, anyway, that pretty much wraps it up here. So, yeah. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. And you can also check out a couple videos over here. This is Age of Detractors. We'll see you next time.